make sure to do the kneeling. You probably don't look at them too often, just make sure you kneel on them. But there's two very important things about them. One is the founding of this parish, and it's remembered in biblical terms with the beginning of the world. And so over, if you look at this one, the darkest pillow has a date on it, which is the date of the founding of this parish. The second pillow has got chaos with the Holy Spirit moving over. It's a little bit lighter. And then you've got Abraham sacrificing Isaac, a little bit lighter, and you get lighter to Moses and the burning bush, and then you get Moses and the Ten Commandments, and this one under here is not the disciples, the prophets, all being sent out into the diaspora. And then you come to this one, which is the gathering for the Lord's Supper with the bread. Now, there's a mountain. There's a mountain that all of those, it flows through time and space, and they all come together right here where I am. On this side, the dark one in the other corner, with the daffodil on it, which is our symbol, talks about, or the date on that one is when this church became a parish under Wally Drager, which is Kerry Drager's father, who was the rector here. And I was privileged to be at that convention when we voted them to become a parish and not a vicarage. But then the beginning there, this was creation. There is the new creation, which is the nativity story. And then it moves through the disciples and the miracles of Jesus and the new commandment. And this one is the other half of the Eucharist. So time, present, ancient time, biblical, all come together in the communion, which is where these two pillars are. The dispersal there is Matthew, Mark, and Luke going out into the world. And then, let's not forget Paul, the fifth disciple of the Synoptic Gospels. So he goes out there too. Behind me, there are the 4 altar pillows, which are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and their symbols. And then you've got the rectors, the celebrants, I should say, over here, which is, I forgot now, Alpha and Omega again, or is it IHS? What's the symbol?
What am I looking at?
Your healer.
Oh, IHS.
IHS. So that's Greek, and then you've got Latin on the top of the cross, which is Jesus of Nazareth, King of Jews. No J in Latin. Nazareth is the inn where he lived. Rex is king in Latin, and then again you've got Jews up there. So, what have I forgot?
Chalice.
All right, we'll do the gifts first. There are two things here, and we're going to look at the chasuble first. This is the pomegranate chasuble. When we opened, and for a while everything was secondhand, we got all the vestments that churches didn't find worthy of using themselves. So, a warning to you, if it's so bad that you won't use it, don't give it to Goodwill. They don't want it either. If you can't use it, that's one thing. But if you don't want to use it because it's so bad, don't. So we all got everything secondhand. So, a man named Jack P. White decided that we needed a festival set and we needed a funeral set, and it had to be good in first hand. So they chose this one and had it made specifically. So that was the Easter and the funeral set at the time. They had everything. There's a coat There was a blanket or a covering for casket, the whole 9 yards. Jack and his wife gave it in Thanksgiving, and 3 weeks later, he was having surgery and he died on the operating table, and he was the first that ever was used. It was used under. So that's sort of a bit of sadness, but also joy that we still have it. Now the maniple, you've not seen that. I don't expect you wear a maniple.
No, I've got too much dignity.
Yeah. Let me tell you the original, and I got this from Chicago, the Art Museum, which has a beautiful ecclesiastical gallery. Just absolutely incredible things there. But the maniple, everybody says you wear it and use it like a servant. And that's certainly, I saw it this morning. Dave had a linen cloth over his arm when he was holding the bowl of water. Well, the first was in the cathedrals that were not heated, and colds were rampant all the time because people were exposed to them and everything. Basically, the maniple is the same as my handkerchief. So you could wipe your nose on the maniple and you didn't touch anything else. You didn't use your hand. Now remember, and this came up in the discussion, left-handed people were considered children of God. And for the first 2 years that I was ordained,
not God.
Children of Satan, I'm sorry. First 2 years I was ordained, my boss would not let me use my left hand in any service. And I have to say, the maniple came in very, very conveniently for me at that time because, and we used one every Sunday at St. Paul's, you can't bless the people with your left hand with the maniple on it. It looks really stupid. So I'd start to raise it. Oh, can't use that. You gotta use my right hand. So, but the reason it was uncomfortable to wipe your nose on them, they were encrusted with jewels, which is why they were in the treasury, because they were expensive. And the jewels were not just cheap jewels, there were rubies and emeralds and all those kinds of jewels on them. Which then, and they were on the chasubles and they were kept in there, which is why when Notre Dame went up in flames, they took everything out of the treasury, which was not burning at that time. And they claim they have the original crown of thorns, which they might not, who knows. But they got all that out, and they didn't worry about losing the art because that building wasn't in flames. And they didn't know how much they were going to lose. Now, the chalice. I've had Nancy leave the chalice out. That is the Stanton chalice, named for William Stanton. That would be Bill and Rita Stanton's father-in-law. And it's engraved with his name. Again, if this had been the Middle Ages, they'd have put real big jewels around here and jewels, where the cross is, and sometimes even jewels on the lip, which must have been inconvenient. But they had money. The nobles would give great wealthy gifts because the more money you gave to the church, the better your soul was. And so if you killed somebody, well, you better build a chapel or give a big gift. And I'm wearing today, and but some of the old St. David's people should have asked me about it. This is the cross. I only wear it on Holy Cross Sunday, which Holy Cross Day is tomorrow, and y'all are going to celebrate it, right? Wednesday. But if you will look at my cross, it's got amethyst on it. And this would have been sort of a poor man's cross, but it's sterling silver and amethyst. So that it was very usual for you to see that kind of thing in church, and to see it on the chalices, to see it on the patens. Thank you. Pardon? The wrought iron was all done by the monks in Three Rivers, all of it. And they, in their archives, they've got the drawings and who did what exactly.